right now I'm trying to be an entrepreneur myself because I've quit my full-time work somewhere around Jan-Feb. Uh, just because of this work-life scenario. So when Divya asked me to speak about work-life balance, I was more than ready to speak about it because I was a kind of, I faced the brunt of work-life balance and had to quit my full-time job because of that. So it's a very recent thing that happened to me. I thought if my learnings can be shared to anybody, it would be more than, I'd be more than happy to do that. So so as everybody know, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Haripriya. I'm a technical writer. I've been working with several IT companies since 2012 as a writer, as a technical writer, etc. In software firms mostly. I deal with documentation, all kinds of documentation. Now I am working as a consulting content writer as well as blog writer. I cater to all the writing needs of people. People and organizations. I do website content development. Uh, and I write blogs for people who already have a company profile but do not have time to keep the blog section updated. I also do content writing. I also do e-learning modules for kids. I write the scripts for that also. So basically all kind of content related services is what I'm doing, and I'm trying to establish that now as a freelancer at the beginning and probably an entrepreneur later. So that's about me. I have very few points which Rima ma'am hasn't covered, because she has almost covered everything. One is the me time that she has mentioned, take out some time for yourself. That is really, really important for work-life balance because it kind of acts as a boost for rest of the day to go well. And if you want that me time and you're not getting it in the everyday schedule, wake up an hour early and make the time for yourself. That especially worked for me because once my kid, who is 3-year-old now, wakes up, I will not have any time for myself. I know that for sure. So if I wake up an hour earlier than her, I realize that those days I'm more fresh because at that time probably I'll meditate or I'll do some coloring, something like that, which I feel rejuvenated the rest of the day. So me time part is what she has already covered, and something that I realized after there came a situation where I had to quit the work to maintain the life, is that work and life shouldn't be treated differently. uh, Especially for the people who are having younger kids, it is not possible, especially when they are working from home. If it was in an office environment, this special suggestion that I am doing is specifically for this COVID kind of scenario where you're working from home. If you're working from office, that's a different scenario altogether. You drop your kid at your creche or your school and you're done away with it, and then you have your entire time for your work. Of course, still you might get phones from the creche that your kid hasn't eaten lunch, etc., etc., but still it's a little bit lesser compartment of time. So you can still have that bifurcation of work and life. Whereas when you're working from home, you do not get that. The more you strive for work and life to be different, it gets more strugglesome, I feel. I mean, if you keep thinking every day, like if I wake up at 7 o'clock, and then till 7 to 10 is my personal time, I get my kid ready, everything done, and then from 10 I will log in, then I'll sit until 5, I'm going to uninterruptedly work. It's never going to happen with kids around, with men around, with everybody in the family around, especially in the work from home scenario. So I think work and life amalgamation should be there uh, in this kind of scenarios, especially when you're working from home, when your family is around. So I can give I just don't want to give an open suggestion. I want to give a probably an example. For say example, I have a project work which does not need complete attention. Probably it's just responding to few chats, or just a casual regular work which doesn't need entire all of my brains there. So in that scenario, I just keep my daughter beside me, ask her to color, and probably sometimes even talk to her while coloring. I also do a little bit of coloring along with her. So it has to be combined. Otherwise that ये tension रह जाता है कि ये कब होगा काम कि मैं जाके अपने daughter को कब देखूं. And in that tension you can never actually complete either this or that. I was a sufferer of that mentality where work should be, until I complete my entire work, I cannot dedicate my time to my family. That does not work when your younger kids are around or your family is around, always, needing your attention. So that is one thing I realized. It's okay to combine them sometimes when you can. Of course, if it is an important project you need to submit in an hour, then you cannot you cannot afford to have diversion. So then probably you have to make your family understand that this 1 hour I need, so please take care of my daughter or son or whatever other things. This 1 hour please keep me undisturbed. So that is something that I realized. And further, if I join as a full-time job or as an entrepreneur, I will definitely keep that, which I am doing even right now. So if I'm writing a blog now, which is a light-hearted one for any client, I keep my daughter around. It's fine for me, rather than keeping it separate from the work. Whereas when I'm writing a technical e-learning kind of a notes, something like that, which needs technical details to be put in, I ask another family member to for help, etc. And this will lead my way to the third point I had, was that ask for help. It's okay. It's okay to ask for help. And because your kid, your home is not just yours alone. Unless you're living alone in an apartment, yes, you are responsible for yourself. But if you're living around a family, they are equally responsible for what is going on at home. I think it's okay for ladies, moms, to seek for help. That is something we are all not still doing. We ask for help only if it is at the brunt of breaking something, ab ho gaya, kuch nahi ho sakta scenario, only we ask for help. But I think we can, if we prioritize, just like how Rima ma'am said, and we know that certain things which are of priority has to be taken care by you, the rest can be managed. Not like probably say, give your kid a bath. Your husband may not do it as good as you, but it's okay. You have something else in the priority. So for that one day, it's okay. I think we parents I think it's specifically with moms, I would say that we are very particular with certain things going on at home, and we don't bend at all. So I think that adjustments has to be done based on the priority that, Rima ma'am said, that gives us a solace that, okay, this one is off my list now. So I'll go on with the next one. So that was something that I thought. And I think coming to the last few points, one is that mom guilt. I don't know how many people can relate to this. All the moms, starting from mom like me, who's a 3-year-old's mom, and maybe like Rima ma'am, who has a 32-year-old kid, we always have guilt that maybe we are not doing enough. I think we should stop doing that. I think just like how I think one of the points Rima ma'am said, we have to keep reiterating our positive sentences. One of the positive sentence we have to keep talking to ourselves about is, you're doing the best you can. So please stop feeling guilt about the rest of the things you're not able to do. Because definitely as a working woman, or even somebody who is on a break like me right now, I'm on a break. I'm not extremely busy like how I used to be. I'm just setting up my things for my entrepreneurship. So still I always have guilt that maybe I'd have done that also. I should have done this also. So I think we have to let go few things, and guilt shouldn't be a part of our life. That really helps in work-life balance, because at the end of the day, you will know that you have done what you have to the best of what you can do, and this rest of it is not in your control. I think That's something I would name it as a mom guilt, because that's more for parents and ladies in specific and parents. And the last and the most important thing that I think we all should realize is happiness is overrated. uh, we are humans. We have all different kinds of emotions. So one day when you wake up and you feel like, oh my God, my life is crap, let it be there. Try to cheer yourself up. But if it's still not happening, don't force happiness onto you, because humans can have all different kinds of emotions. So that day might be a sad day. That day might be a day like that. Try to do things like have a sip of coffee, do things that can cheer you up. If it is not working, don't force yourself happiness, because not every day you can be happy. A human being is a bag of multiple emotions. We have to face all of them. This is not for people who constantly feel sad about something. Then that is a problem which needs to be treated. But one of days, if this happens, like some days I wake up, I will say a very personal thing. Some days I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, why did I resign my full-time job, and what am I doing with this, all this stuff? I let myself feel that for a day. I try to reason with myself that, hey, but I'm getting to spend a lot more of time with my kid, and I'm getting to learn a lot more of things which you'd never get time when I was working full time. I had a lot of courses on my on my to-do list which I wanted to do, some soft skill courses, etc., which I never got time when I was working. So I used to try to reason and figure out. Sometimes even that reasoning won't work. You just want to be left alone and want to be that grim for that day. If it is for just one day, I think we have to let it be. We should not force happiness onto ourselves. Same with the work as well. If some colleague of you has been bad to you, you will be sad. That is human tendency. You will be sad. If you can do anything about it, do about it. Otherwise, if you're feeling sad for a day, let that be for that day. uh, do not enforce happiness onto yourself. Uh, I strongly believe that happiness is not the destination. It's the most important and nice thing to have, but we might not always have it.